Psychic Witch by Mat Auryn has just got a new deluxe edition published by Llewellyn, and it's a well-deserved super deluxe edition since I guess this has been one of Llewellyn's most popular books in a very, very long time. So Mat Auryn released Psychic Witch back in 2020, and it really took the entire world by storm. I live in Poland, and Psychic Witch is one of those few books that have been translated, so a few magic of high quality magic books that have been translated into Polish, and I guess it's been translated into many different languages. You'll be able to see over here that the list of accolades just goes on and on and on and on. Amazing names over here, like people who you really would like to have giving accolades to your book. So that's really very nice. And so as a result, even whacked her here. I mean, that's fantastic stuff. Okay. So as a result, of course, 5 years later, this is getting a super deluxe edition, and it's nice, folks. Okay, so I don't think I actually reviewed Psychic Witch when it initially came out, so this is possibly a good time to do that. Check this out. So this is the deluxe edition. I'm going to start off by saying that the thing that I love the most about this edition is the rounded corners. I hadn't realized how I would love that. And I really do. Rounded corners on a book, clearly. I don't know. I clearly got a new thing, right? Rounded corners, why not? Love that. Absolutely love that. The paper is kind of thin and glossy. It's unfortunately it's okay. I know what I can maybe compare it to. Paper from comic books. You know, the paper where if you keep it in your hands for too long, it kind of warps a little bit. Yeah, unfortunately, it's that. But the result is that it's kind of how to say, it's silky, right? Certainly not see-through. It's good quality paper, but it does have that property of warping a little bit if you hold it in your finger and thumb, which the more pulpy paperback, of course, is not going to do. But the more pulpy paperback is definitely not as nice as the deluxe edition. And of course, every page has now got this lovely border, which I really like. It looks really cool. It looks really good to me. Then you've got color chapter headers with this kind of nice moon and stars design at the beginning of every chapter. And yeah, the border is actually color. So each page is in fact two-tone. And you'll be able to see that the exercises have got this kind of blue number, right, just above it, which is cool. Yeah, I just showed you the black sprayed edges of the book, which which looks really cool, and then of course those really nice end papers, which I think are really lovely, actually. Yeah. Okay, I mean, we are talking about a mass-produced book that is going to be printed in the no doubt tens of thousands, if not more. I don't know what the numbers are. Of course, I don't. But that's what I'm imagining. And so, of course, you're not going to be reaching for the same kind of quality as an independent publisher who is going to make maybe 500 copies of a super deluxe edition, or even like 80 copies of a super deluxe edition or whatever, right? So this is this is definitely a step up from their usual paperbacks. Okay, let me talk a little bit about the content. All right, first of all, let's talk about Psychic Witch itself, and then I'll talk about the little bits that have been added for this deluxe edition. I think Psychic Witch absolutely deserves its throne, and the analogy of a throne really is appropriate here. You know, the reason I say it deserves it is because it gives beginners permission to be psychic. And that is what most people just need, you know. It is very, very clear at stating that everyone is psychic, and we just need to unlock those skills. And so that really drops the gatekeeping, drops the barriers, and the way Mat presents all of this is a really refreshing departure from the usual, hey, have you heard of the Golden Dawn? Here's another rehash of their stuff. So no, Mat does his own thing here. He really shows us his own way, and along the way gives us exercises to try for ourselves, and those exercises are designed in a way that makes the reader feel like he, she, they can really give it a go, give it a real go, you know. And what's wonderful is because Mat is such an accomplished psychic witch, right? It's very, very good advice. Now, why psychic witch? Is because there's two sides to this, right? There's the psychic side, and then there's the witchcraft side. The psychic side being about sensing beyond sense, and the witchcraft side being about manipulating reality with spells, right? And so people who are very good at one sometimes might be not so good at the other. And so this book really brings the two together in a way that is useful, helpful, exactly what most modern magic practitioners are looking for, at least when they're starting out. And there is so much advice in here that is useful even for the advanced practitioner. I would strongly recommend reading this, no matter what your level is, just for those wonderful exercises that he shares with us. You know, I read a lot of books, and sometimes the exercises that I read, they're not particularly, I don't know, real world usable. I mean, they make recommendations that just sound boring, or that just sound like you would never actually go ahead and do them. These exercises that Mat Auryn shares in this book are all thought out from the perspective of, will a beginner actually do this? And the answer is most often yes, emphatically yes. Right, so there are lots and lots of different areas of exploration. Of course, you know, you do go into the usual elements and magic circles and energy work and so on and so forth, because that works. Of course it does, but you won't find just the usual middle pillar and things like that in here, right? This is not a Golden Dawn introduction book or anything like that. It is a manual of self-development for the psychic witch. There we are. All right, so this edition has got a plethora, in fact, of new introductions. So, of course, there's a new introduction by Mat himself to the deluxe edition, in which he reflects upon the how significant the release of this book was for him, understandably so. But he also goes into what it means for us. And he also, oh, this is a good one, folks, in this introduction. He gives us a little bit of advice for people with aphantasia and ADHD, right? Which was missing from the original edition. And he got some feedback that people were like, well, I have aphantasia. And so he added a little bit of information in here for fixing that, right? So that's really, really nice. And then there are some forwards by Devin Hunter. I think there's one by Christopher Penchak, if I remember correctly. Ivo Dominguez, and others. I'm afraid, yeah, I can't remember where they all are, but all very nice. Is there anything here? Okay, and then there is a new chapter towards the very, very end, which gives us even more exercises. There we go, even more psychic spells and magic tricks. So very much in the style of the last chapter that that exists already in the previous edition that you might already have on your shelf. So there we go. So that's really, really nice as well to have that added. There is a ribbon, folks. I mean, this is really not a usual thing to see a mass market book, even hardcover, to have a ribbon. That is really, really damn nice. And let's take a look to see what the binding is like. Let me just, can I get some light on there? Yes, we have black head and tail, presumably, bands. Yeah, there we are. And then let me take a quick look to see if it is perfect or Smith sewn. I think it's perfect bound. I'm just going to pause. Guys, it's Smith sewn. Check it out. Yes. and very nicely so, in fact, to the point that it's just very very nice and tight. It's just all a little bit dark, you know, because it's all black and stuff. But yeah, Smith sewn. Incredible. I'm super impressed. So yeah, that is Mat Auryn's Psychic Witch, the metaphysical guide to meditation, magic, and manifestation. And it's the deluxe edition that is out, available now. And I will leave links in the description, of course, so that you can pick this up at your leisure. I hope you enjoyed this little overview, folks. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll see you very soon with another video. Take care. Bye.